I'm Aidan Hogan. I'm an associate professor with the Department of Computer Science at the University of Chile and the vice director of the Millennium Institute for Foundational Research and Data. So I believe this is the 10th edition of SEMANTiCS. Since 2013, I've been in Chile. It's quite difficult to make it to Europe, but I'm aware of all the great work that's been done at the conference. So this is my first time at the conference, and it's been super interesting to also catch up with people back in Europe and see what the hot topics are. I first began my journey in this field around 2005, so that's 18 years ago. Lots of things have changed since then. At the time, there was mainly a vision of this semantic web that could be built. There wasn't much stuff available. Nowadays, it's very different. There's lots of data sets available. There's, for example, Wikidata. There's developments as well with ontologies and biomedical ontologies. People are talking about knowledge graphs now, also in industry. People are doing machine learning on graphs, so there's a lot of interesting developments. And it's starting to be used, which is also quite a major development compared to those early days when it was mainly ideas and concepts and so forth, but still awaiting implementation. So I think a lot of people don't realize, but we're all using semantic web and knowledge graphs every day, in the sense that people who use Google searches, for example, they now receive this panel on the right side that it understands that what is being searched for is a poet or a movie and gives some data, and that data is populated from a knowledge graph. So people don't see the knowledge graph, they think this is just Google, but behind these technologies we're using. Also, if you see Google search results, you see that if you search for a recipe, that you have some metadata, it provides some information about the calories, the preparation time, an image, and so forth. And that's also based on structured data, which is part of the area. So in some sense, we're already using it and people don't realize it because this is technology behind the scenes. And I think in the same way, more developments in knowledge graphs will have the same sort of effect in terms of enriching and creating results that are more intelligent for users. And you can also think about Alexa and Siri and so forth. The users are not going to not many users are going to directly interact with the knowledge graph itself, but it's going to be in the background, offering more intelligent answers, being able to automate more tasks, and that will continue to evolve over time. And with the advancements in machine learning, it opens up a whole new range of possibilities with these sorts of applications based on, let's say, natural language and being able to ask questions rather than having to write queries and so forth. So I think it maybe goes back to when I started the journey, which was this idea that we can do more with the web, and the web has revolutionized society already. So, but the web is still for sharing documents. The issue with the web is still this idea that if you want to find answers to a question, you use Google, and if there's a web page that contains that, then that's perfectly fine. But if you want to do a more complex task, like you want to plan a trip and you want to get cheap flights that arrive by a certain date and then find hotels close by and maybe book trains and so forth, it requires a lot of manual effort on the part of the user. If you want to ask questions that are a little bit more involved, the classic example I use is finding Nobel Prize winners in literature who fought in wars and what wars they fought in and so forth that you might want to do for research, or if you wanted something in a local setting. For example, to find recipes with ingredients that are available in local supermarkets that don't contain citrus because somebody's allergic. These sorts of tasks are largely inefficient with the web at the moment, even though the content is there. So I think what could revolutionize society with this combination of technologies is to be able to use the web to harness the information in the web in a more intelligent, integrated way, so that it's not a website that's answering your question or your task, but rather the entire web collaborating automatically to address the needs of users.